The Islamic Republic is not getting the money that is mentioned in the MOU until they perform. They have to perform first, then they get the money. Not the $24 billion of the frozen assets and not the $300 billion investment. The $300 billion is the big one. So Ghalibaf, the main perpetrator behind this MOU, was asked yesterday in state media, and they asked him, they're like, what about the 300 billion of reparations? And he said, well, actually, it's not reparations, it's foreign investment. Okay, that's true. So the USA is not going to invest in the Islamic Republic. The government of the United States is not going to do it. They're not going to hand over $300 billion of taxpayer money. The US said if a private company, wants to invest in Iran, then we won't limit them. We won't put sanctions on them. They can do it if they want to. Now, I just personally want to see what private companies in the world are going to go and invest in the Islamic Republic of Iran, in their private sector of the Islamic Republic of Iran. You have to ask yourself, is a private company, okay, who invests only in safe countries who don't have the risk of war erupting or chaos and uprisings, are they going to come and invest in the Islamic Republic? No. Is it going to be the Persian Gulf Arab countries? Saudi Arabia was also asked yesterday. They had an interview with one of the princes of the economic financial stuff. And he said, they asked him, are you going to invest in this $300 billion fund into the Islamic Republic? And the prince said, well, the trust between us and the Islamic Republic has been broken. It has to be rebuilt first, then we will invest in them. So what does that mean? No, it means I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Are the other Persian Gulf Arab countries who nearly got wiped off the map, like Kuwait, Bahrain, the UAE, are they going to jump at the opportunity to invest in Iran? No. Is Qatar and China going to do it? Maybe, probably. But $300 billion? I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And I did some research. Back during the Iran and Iraq War in the 1980s, at the end of the war, the resolution that the United Nations created to basically call it off and end it, because there was actually never a formal end to it, was it was like this resolution that said that $100 billion from Iraq was to be given in the form of reparations or investment into the Islamic Republic of Iran. The regime, the Islamic Republic at the time, said they wanted 10 times that, so $1 trillion. In the end, they got zero. So this is a similar thing. You got $0 from the Iraqis ever. So that's the $300 billion. Okay, you have to ask yourself which private company is going to come and invest. Now, is Israel going to follow this complete end to the fighting in Lebanon? No. They said this deal has nothing to do with them. President Trump said, Bibi's going to listen to me, they're going to end the fighting. Bibi literally came out the next day, said, we have nothing to do with this at all. We're never going to sit by and let them hit us and not respond. And today, Hezbollah launched dozens of rockets into Israel. So Israel and the regime are definitely going to fight again, because the Islamic Republic isn't just going to sit by and watch Hezbollah get hammered. Okay, so that's going to happen. Missiles are going to start flying in this 60-day period. It might be extended. So the differences between Israel, the Islamic Republic, and the USA can't be solved with an MOU that's non-binding. They have a long history. It's just a piece of paper. It's not going to end anything. Okay, moving on from that. They have 60 days to finish discussing the nuclear issue, the Strait of Hormuz. The 60 days can be extended if both parties are willing, as is stated in the MOU. And it probably will be extended, in my opinion. During this period, are the US forces going to leave the Middle East? I don't see that happening until the Islamic Republic carries out what they've said they do, which is give up the uranium. Strait is toll-free. Now, let's say they do. They finish, they end the talks, everything's gotten out, the uranium, everything. Okay, then yes, the United States is going to start withdrawing its troops. But is the Fifth Fleet in Bahrain going to remain? Yes. Are all the bases that the United States has in the region going to remain and all of their troops? Yes. Is the United States going to lift the blockade? Yes, they did. It seems that some Islamic Republic oil tankers have already gotten through. They've passed the strait, they got into international waters. Who knows where they're going? Probably China. Even though the United States Navy transmitted a message last night and the night before that in Farsi to ships in the Strait of Hormuz that you are not cleared to go, return to your ports. And even though the Islamic Republic has fired Shahed drones this past week, on multiple nights. But okay, the blockade is lifted. Will the regime be allowed to collect tolls or fees from the ships that are going through the Strait of Hormuz? No. Are they saying they will collect fees from ships? Yes. So they created the threat in the Strait of Hormuz, and now they want a fee for providing the passage through it. They created the problem, and they're charging for the solution. Is that going to be allowed? No. So that is going to become apparent really soon, because the whole point of this MOU was to drive the oil prices down as fast as possible. So these ships have to get out, and they got to start going now. So we're going to find out real soon, this week, next week, real soon. But all right, the blockade is lifted. The regime gets to sell their oil, but all the ships that are stuck in the Persian Gulf get to leave. They will not be under threat of hostage taking in the future, and the price of oil comes plummeting down. Now, the uranium issue. Are you guys with me so far? Is this good?
Yep, okay. Pretty. I think so. You guys let me know and let us know in the chat.
The regime spent hundreds of billions of dollars building centrifuges, buying uranium, developing a nuclear weapons program, and is all gone. The uranium is buried underground. It's either going to be diluted or taken away. And all of this money, by the way, was the Iranian people's money. All of this money was ours. They have nothing to show. They have nothing. They wasted it all. It's gone. So they're going to have to spin it somehow to their own supporters. The truth is that they made the country of Iran endure decades of sanctions for this nuclear program. The nuclear program, which is now destroyed, the supreme leader got killed instantly. Most of the top generals and figures are dead. They negotiated with the Americans. They're on the losing side of the negotiations. They signed the MOU with the Americans. They fought and lost the military war. Their own supporters are angry. And when the uranium is actually dealt with, the supporters are going to be even more angry. If the regime doesn't stop funding the terrorist proxies like Hamas, Hezbollah, Popular Mobilization Front, all of them, it doesn't give up the uranium, and it doesn't abandon the idea to collect tolls in the Strait of Hormuz, the sanctions come back, the blockade comes back, the bombing starts again. Trump confirmed that. Hegseth confirmed that. So what we're left with is a situation that's similar to before the strikes in February 28th. But we don't have Ali Khamenei. We don't have all the top generals and figures. They don't have ballistic missile production anymore. They have no nuclear weapons. They're starved economically. They're completely failing economically. Their bank account is almost empty. They have growing economic pressure that can't be solved. It was already there before. It's way, way worse now. It cannot be solved. And then you have growing unrest among the Iranian people and now the regime supporters as well. So what do we, the people, do? Is Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi the only leader still surviving after all these decades of opposition? Yes. No other opposition leader is still standing. Has he been saying the same thing since day one till now? Yes. Which is, we will liberate Iran with or without help. And we absolutely will. So there's way more to this story, okay? The Islamic Republic is trying to spin this as a massive win to their angry supporters. But the reality is they signed an unbinding document after losing the military war, destroying the military program, all the leaders, the Khamenei's, everything. And they think the money is about to come in now, the $300 billion, the frozen assets. Well, the United States isn't paying anything. It's not even paying a cent. Private companies aren't about to come and risk their capital on a decaying regime that could erupt into war at any second. Israel already openly rejected the deal. They're not even privy to it. They're not even included. So the fighting is not going to just stop because of this stupid piece of paper. And there's way more in this story. So everything is going to become apparent in this negotiation period of this 60 days, maybe extended, maybe 90 days. And we're going to find out what direction we're heading.